Thank you, Zainaira, and thank you everyone else. Salam and good afternoon, everyone. Like always, we're back with another amazing session series of webinar by the SSCP Innovation Office, and with the title, How Technology and Process Reengineering is Stalking Growth in the Company Registration. So we will start with a short brief of NIC. So for those who doesn't know what NIC is, NIC Pakistan is a shared space providing state-of-the-art facilities, provide bridge between entrepreneurs, investors, innovators, and it's a hub for innovation. NIC is a place born to nurture the growth talent for across Pakistan. NIC is powered by Jazz and Team Up under the umbrella of Ministry of IT and Telecom. So on the other hand, we have SSCP. So Security Exchange Commission of Pakistan is a financial regulatory agency in Pakistan that aims to develop a modern and efficient corporate sector in a capital market based on sound authority principles in order to encourage investment and foster economic growth and prosperity in Pakistan. So this was the basic brief introduction of NIC and SSCP. Now we'll move on to about the webinar. So as we know that almost as a result of continued adoption of information and communication technologies, number of newly registered companies has considerably grown, and it's almost around 99% of the companies have adopted online mode of incorporation. And physical submission has been instead of physical submission, they have moved to the online incorporation. And in this specific session, we'll talk about how incorporation process have been digitized from end-to-end, enabling founders to apply for company incorporation from anywhere in the world. Once approved, digitally signed certificates of incorporation are sent to companies via email. So the process has been digitized totally, and it's been becoming very easy for all the company startup founders and everyone who wants to register their companies. So with us, we have Saila Jamshed and Parvez Iqbal. Saila is a joint registrar in charge Business Center, Corporatization and Compliance Department. She did a master's in business administration from Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad back in 2000, and Bachelor of Law LLB in 2010. She is also hold an associate diploma from the Institute of Bankers, Pakistan, and certification in the foundation course of ICMA. Thank you, Saila Jamshed, for joining us. And on the other hand, we have Parvez Iqbal Saab. He is a Deputy Registrar, Business Center, Corporatization and Compliance Department. And he has a diversified experience of more than 18 years. And he has exposure to working in the various areas of Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. So we have a background of our I think we have covered all the points. So we're gonna over to you, Rasti.
Anybody interested?
Yes, Zainaira.
I am.
Over to you. So if we can start with the presentation, maybe.
Yes, I think Ma'am Saila can take it further.
Okay. Ms. Saila, you can take it further. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Hey, it's Saila Jamshed, and with me is my fellow colleague Parvez Iqbal. So we will start the presentation and the topic, as we have already described, how technology and process reengineering is stalking growth in company registration. So we just start with the presentation. First of all, I would like to tell you about the agenda of this session, keeping in view the topic. First of all, I would like to briefly tell you about what's the mandate of the company SSCP, then company registration, then what are the benefits of the registration and incorporation, then how to register a company with the SSCP, and then growth in company incorporation due to this digitization and innovations and processes reengineering, then how technology evolved over the years and it helps in increase in the incorporation rate overall in the economy, and then what are the processes we have re-engineered. Next. First of all, mandate of the SSCP. As Ferosh has already explained to you people about the brief object and the mandate of the SSCP. So it's basically the regulation of the corporate sector in the capital market, supervision and regulation of insurance companies, and supervision and regulation of non-banking finance companies and private pension schemes. If we see overall the financial sector, if you take out the banks from the financial sector, the remaining sector, basically corporate sector and all the non-banking financial institutions, insurance, leasing, mudarbas, stock exchanges, basically they all fall under the ambit of the SECP, and SECP is the regulator of all these entities and all these organizations. Basically, excluding banks, remaining the whole financial sectors come under the regulatory ambit of the SECP. Next. So first of all, I will tell you people about the forms of businesses. Which are the different forms of the businesses? Basically, one is the sole proprietorship and the partnership. These are the two types of entities which are registered with the registrar of the firms. And the company and LLP, these two are the structures which are registered with the SECP. Next. First of all, I would like to explain you what are the benefits of the corporatization, why people opt to make a company, why they want to come into the regulatory ambit of the SECP, and what are the benefits they have been given and they can enjoy while having in the corporate, while being a corporate entity. They have the distinct legal entity. Basically, partnership means the partners of the firms. If the partnership dissolved, the whole partnership dissolved. But this is not the case with the companies, because companies have a distinct legal entity from its shareholders. If one or two, or there are two shareholders, and if they want to transfer the shares or they die, it doesn't mean the company dies. Company is separate from its members and from its shareholders. It has a perpetual succession. The life of the company never ends until and unless the subscriber or the members of the company, they go for the winding up the company. Otherwise, in case of partnership, if one of the partner dies or if there is any clause of the partnership which they don't comply, it can be end at any time. But it's not like the company. Company once formed it's like life would be end if it would be end by the shareholders of the companies. They enjoyed limited liability, like in partnerships or in sole proprietorship. Personal assets of the people are also liable to pay off the debts and the liabilities, but it's not the case of the companies, because the liability of the member is limited to the extent they have subscribed to the share of the company. Then there is an easy transfer of shares. That is not the case with the partnership. In partnership, you can't transfer the share. The partnership dissolves. Then being a company, you are the part of the documented and regulated economy. You become the part of the economy and you contribute to the economic growth of the company. Then the companies have enhanced credibility, because it's difficult for the company, basically partnership and the sole proprietorships, to take loans from the banks or to take loans from the friends, because they don't have that credibility in the eyes of the public or in the eyes of the financial sector. But for companies, it is easy to get loans from the financial institution in the form, because these companies have a separate legal entity from their partners. Over the time, their credibility increase, because when they start doing businesses, they make their financial statements. These financial statements are open to the public. They can see these financial statements, and then they can invest in these, and they can give credit to these companies. So it has an enhanced credibility. These are not the cases with the partnerships. And they have better access to the capital market, in the sense, once the company can change its status from the private to the public, and then public to the public listed company. When the companies goes into the sector of the listed companies, they can invite deposits from the public, and they can subscribe their share. Then they can collect their investments from the public even, and they can raise the funds from the public. These are the basically benefits which you can't enjoy being a partnership or being an association of the person who's in the individual capacity. That's why people go for the corporatization. They want to form a company because of basically these benefits they enjoy being a company. Next. Basically, companies incorporate. We have a legal framework under which we incorporate the company. Basically, there is a Companies Act 2017. Basically, this is a legal framework under which companies are incorporated, and they are monitored and their compliance is checked. Not only the incorporation is in this Companies Act, but also the post-incorporation requirements and post-incorporation compliances and overall regulation and supervision of the corporate sector is being done through this Companies Act 2017. Basically, the sections which specifically deal with the company incorporation and the name availability, they are section 10 and 26 and regulation 3 and 4 of the Companies Incorporation Regulation 2017. And for company incorporation, we have section 16 of the Companies Act and regulation 5 of the Companies Incorporation Regulations 2017. So there are different types of companies. Companies are either limited by shares, This means that the liability of the members of the company is limited to the extent they subscribe the shares in the company. Limited by guarantee, here again, the liability of the member is limited to that guarantee which they have given at the time of incorporating a company. And unlimited companies are those companies who have no liability. Their even personal assets are liable at the time of the winding up to pay off the debts and to pay off the creditors at the time of the winding up of the company. Basically, we don't have unlimited company structure now in the Pakistan because people don't opt for unlimited company because they can't enjoy the benefit of that limited liability company, which is available in all. Basically 100% companies are formed which are limited by shares. But now I think we have few companies on our register which have unlimited liability. Next. So these are some difference between the single member, private and public limited companies. Basically, these are few of the features which I will explain to you. How can we differentiate the single member, private and public company? Basically, private company can be a single member and private company. Single member company is the company which has minimum one member and it is formed with the one member. And private company, it has minimum 2 members and maximum of 50. And in public companies, minimum 3 and maximum number of, there is no limit on the maximum. And for listed companies, maximum 7 for listed in case of the directors, 2 in case of private companies, and 1 director in case of private single member company. In single member company and the private companies, the major difference is that the single member companies can be formed from the single member. But in that case, that single member company has to nominate someone as a nominee. That in case of the death of that single member in the single member company, that nominee will transfer the share of the companies to its legal heirs. That is the role of the nominee in the single member company. Then invitation to, like, they can't, private and single member companies, they can't invite deposits from the public. But in case of public companies, they can invite deposits from the public in the form of the shares. Then single member company, they can transfer shares, but not in the sense that they can transfer shares to make it more than one member. That one member will remain one member. And in transfer of shares in private companies, they can also transfer their shares, and that is the mode of transfer. All these modus operandi that is written basically in their articles that at the house where they will transfer the shares with the consent of their boards. And then public company, there is no restriction. Shares can be transferred anytime from one person to another person's. Who will opt for the single member, private or public? It depends, and it suits to the needs of the business. The companies which are of small structure, they mostly opt for the single, and private companies, those who don't want to raise the funds from the public, and those who don't, and their size of the businesses is normally small. But once their size is increasing, then they need funds. It's not possible to inject funds into the companies by subscribers through all their means of shareholders by themselves. So they invite shares from the public, like companies goes on the public listed for listing. The shares of those companies can be subscribed by anyone from the public. So they all become the owner of the company. So these are the public companies which can invite shares from the public. They can be in the form of unlisted or in the form of listed companies. Next. So for registration of the company, what do you need? These are few documents or the few information which you need to form a company. In order to make a company, you have to first of all know about these things basically. First of all is the suitable company name. What name you want to give to your company? This is the first thing which you should know. This is the name, and this will be in this sector, this will be the principal line of the business. IT, trading, real estate, marketing, broadcasting. But like we have more than 100 sectors in which company can choose its principal line of the business. Then there should be a registered office address of the company where all the correspondence is being done. Then there must be a subscribers and shareholders. In case of private company 1, in case of single member 1, in case of private 2, and in case of public minimum 3. Then there should be the person should decide who would be the directors. Normally these subscribers are the directors of the company. Directors can be more than, can be minimum in case of private single member 1, again in private 2, and in public company minimum 3. This is the minimum criteria of the directors. Then details of the then company must know what would be the authorized capital and the paid up capital of the company. Authorized capital of the company is the capital up to the extent to which company can increase its capital, and the share capital, paid up capital, is that amount of the capital which the subscribers of the company basically subscribe at the time of incorporating a company. How much shares they have subscribed. Basically, this is the paid up capital which they have subscribed. After the incorporation of the company, they have to open the bank account, and then they have to inject that money into that account. That is the paid up capital. Means the shares which have been subscribed by the subscribers, they have been paid, and that they have paid in the form of money. They can be in kind, they can be in cash, any type. Next. Then there is a memorandum and article of association of the company. Memorandum is basically a constitutive document of the company, and it has 5 clauses. Like I already discussed, there should be a name, there should be a registered office address, objects, liability clause, and the capital clause. These are the 5 basic constituents of the memorandum of association. These 5 constituents are basically given in the memorandum, and one who wants to incorporate a company, they must have to know about these 5 constituents. And the articles of association are basically the internal bylaws of the companies, how to regulate those companies. Who would be the directors, how many directors, about their AGMs, about their quorums of the AGMs, about in case of arbitration, dissolution. But these all basically internal bylaws of the companies, they are written in the article of association of the companies. Then a person must have to have CNIS copies, and then there is an application form for the name availability. It's incorporation form 1, and for incorporation it's a incorporation form 2. These are both of the forms are defined in our incorporation regulations 2017, which is required for which basically it collects the data to form a company incorporation process. Now we will next. Company incorporation is basically, there are 2 modes of the company incorporation: offline and online. Offline means documents are submitted physically to us, and online means through our e-services system, which is an online system of company incorporation. Well, before 2008, the process of company incorporation was totally manual. There was no online system. In 2008, Commission has launched an e-services system. And what were the issues with the physical filing? So that we have started this e-services process. Filing were the issues with the physical filing. It was time consuming. Greater cost was involved. Physical signatures were required on the documents. Then there was also a digital signature from NIFT on online submission. It was introduced afterwards. Payment was done only through banks, through physical challan. There were the chances of errors would also be there in the documents. They make the documents which are faulty. Then these documents, they have to make these documents, and there were lengthy memorandum and article of associations. There were no model memorandums. Then it was the hassle for the clients, and least but not the last, there was the low ranking on ease of doing business of the Pakistan. This is the World Bank report, ease of doing business report, basically. So these all were the issues with the physical filing, and it was difficult for the people to get their company incorporated in a physical mode, because obviously you have to write everything then you have to submit those documents through TCS. They came to our offices, then we examine those documents, then we resubmit, then we send the physical letters to the applicants, then they resubmit the process. This all process took time, a week or 2 weeks to incorporate a company. But now, after physical, we have launched e-services in 2008. And what was the basic objectives of this system was, and why we introduced this e-services portal? Because to overcome the issues which I've highlighted in the previous slide about the filing. What is the e-services? Basically, it is an electronic data gathering and retrieval system that would perform automated collection and acceptance of documents. And the primary purpose was to increase the efficiencies of the corporate sector and the benefits of the investors, companies, and the company by accelerating the receipt, acceptance, and dissemination of time-sensitive corporate information filed with the Commission. Basically, this system was launched to increase the efficiency, to reduce the turnover around time and the cost for the applicants, and it was also easy for us to examine the applications through this system, and then replying to the applicants then and there on their emails. They can then resubmit the process through online submission process. These are basically the digital reforms introduced by SCCP after the launch of eServices. eServices was basically launched in 2008, but till now we kept on re-engineering the processes, and we have introduced various online modules in the eServices, not only the incorporation, but also the post-incorporation requirements modules. This eServices system is not only restricted, yet not only limited to the company incorporation and name availability, but it also contains the different modules of the post-incorporation requirements, like if you want to change the name of the company, change the status of the company. But these all modules are also available for the filing of the documents, annual filing of the returns. These all modules are available in our eServices system. It is a comprehensive system, basically. Then we have revamped this system by eliminating the duplicate information and data fields. Then we have introduced a single form for incorporation. Previously, there were 3 forms, Form 1, Form 29. Now there is only a single form through which you can enter the data, and these all forms have been now abundant with all these forms, and there is now only a single form, that is a company incorporation form 2. Then we have introduced various modes of payments like credit card, ADC payment, internet banking, mobile banking, and EasyPaisa. Before that, there was only one physical filing of fee through challans. Then we have at the start of the eServices processes, we have linked our system with the NIFT, basically. For the electronic signature. Thereafter, we have also abandoned with that digital signatures, and now SCCP generate a simple PIN on the email addresses and on the mobile numbers of the applicants, and that PIN is used as a digital signature, not only for the company incorporation, but also in the post-incorporation requirements. The companies that PIN has become the digital signature. Before that, cost was involved in this digital signature, but now PIN is generated without any cost.
SCCP system is integrated with PTA and NADRA as well.
The process of this system of SCCP is also integrated with the PTA and NADRA, and we can verify from that the applicants which are applying for the incorporation, basically their number is linked to their NADRA also and PTA also. We can verify that the person who is applying for incorporation, basically he is the person, and his CNIC is verified from the NADRA. Otherwise, we don't give PIN to the person who is not registered with the NADRA, and that person, from their transparency has also increased. Only those people whose CNICs are given to us at the time of incorporation, they are verified from the NADRA, and the phone numbers, they are also verified from the PTA. These CNICs and these SIMs are issued to these persons, and they are the subscriber of the company, basically. Next. Now we issue the digital certificates with QR code. Previously, physical certificate of incorporation was sent at the registered office address of the companies. Now, as soon as the company is incorporated, digital certificate of incorporation is issued to the companies. Now we have also integrated our system with the banks for opening of the company's bank's account. Now banks can access our portal, and then they can incorporate the company. They can open the company's account. Previously, they have to obtain the certified copies of their incorporation documents from SCCP. That also involved cost previously. Now this system is linked with the banks. Companies can open their bank accounts after incorporating a company with the SCCP. We have also integrated with our system with other departments, such as FPR for NTN generation. NTN is also issued to the companies then and there once a company is incorporated. Then we have also integrated our system with EOB, PESC, SESC, Labor, Excise and Taxation Department. Like once you enter to the SCCP and with the filing of the simple information on one form, you automatically registered with all these. But if you want to opt for, so you will automatically register with all these departments. Then we also now have issued digital certified copies with QR code. You can apply for the digital certified copies. Previously, the option of physical digital certified copies also available with the SCCP. You can also apply physical, but digital certified copy has also made it easier for the applicants. They can get the digital certified copy with QR then and there while after incorporating application. And now we are adding another feature in the incorporation process where a company can apply for the digital certified copy as while submitting an incorporation application. If someone wants a digital certified copy, that can be issued at the time of the incorporation, but this process is being implemented. Then you confirm as soon as the company is incorporated, SMS is generated on the address, on the number of chief executive, on the cell number, and information of company incorporation is then and there can be accessed from the SMS, like SCCP issue this SMS to the company for information about the incorporation of their company. So what are the impact of technology and process re-engineering on stocking growth? Like due to this technology and these all inventions in this e-service system and we keep on revamping the processes. But due to this all measures which SCCP has taken since 2008, the following are the impacts basically. There is a substantial growth in number of companies, improvement in EODB ranking. Pakistan ease of doing business ranking has increased in World Bank report. 99% of the companies have been incorporated online. Same day incorporation increases. Previously, incorporation was done within a week or 2 weeks when it was a physical submission of physical documents. Now incorporation is being done on the same day, subject to the condition that all the documents and all the information is correct. Then there is a reduction in queries and complaints of the investors. Obviously, when previously it was all the system was physical, then the queries also increase and investors also complain that their company is not incorporated. They don't get the required documents on time. Reason being might be due to the TCS problem or everything. But these complaints and queries have drastically reduced. Now there is a consistency in processing of application. And this consistency is because now previously company incorporation was done through 9 CROs of the SCCP located at different regions. But now Commission has established a business center at Islamabad, and now all incorporation has been centralized and it is being done through business center. And one of the objective of this centralization was to have a consistency in processing of the application, because when it was done previously through different CROs, the different practices were there. Now the process, there is a now consistency in the policies, and all the applications are dealt at the business center at the centralized, and now this is the centralized function of the Commission, both the name availability and incorporation. Now there is a issuance of the combined certificate of for registration with the other departments, as I've already explained, like and FPR, PESI, SESI, EOBI, Labor and Excise Taxation Department, and SCCP is also, like, we are also taking to have this ease of doing business in corporate, like which are the other departments, like Sindh and Punjab. Sindh, we have already integrated our system with Sindh and Punjab, but we are also looking into integrated it with the Balochistan and Sarhad, but that is in pipeline. That has not yet been done. Now you can file an incorporation process online anywhere from without any physical interaction. Registration of company and issuance of NTN, it is done through one single portal. And previously, company incorporation was separate and NTN issuance of NTN was separate because the companies applied to the FPR. But now it has been done through one portal from the portal of SCCP. And you can obtain certificate of incorporation and digital certified true copies, and these are sent through email. Next. So this is the basically incorporation statistics as of today. We have 158,278 companies on our register till today. And these are the different types of the companies: public listed, public unlisted, private, single member. Section 42 companies, these are basically those companies, Section 42, which are not for profit, and they are the licensed entities. Then we have trade organizations, public Section 43 companies, private unlimited companies, and foreign companies. Like I already told you that we have one private and public unlimited companies, and foreign companies 1,082 foreign companies, and we have also there is also another limited liability partnership concept of this has also been introduced by SCCP. These limited liability partnerships are the form of, these are basically types of the partnership which enjoys the benefits of the company, but they are not company because, and they have less post-incorporation requirement, but they enjoy the benefits of corporatization. This is basically company incorporation growth after launch of e-services. Like in 2009 and 10, from if you look at this graph, it's show an increasing trend of the company incorporation. Like in 2010 and 11, there were only 3,206 companies. Then in 11-12, there is a growth of 17%. Then in 13, 3%. Then in 13, 14, 17%. Then 9, then 24. This growth is all because of the technology advancement and processes re-engineering of the SCCP. And last year, we have 51% growth rate because the number of developments have been taken by SCCP last year to increase the incorporation rate. And these due to the technology improvements and processes revamping, this has shown drastically into the increase in incorporation rate. Next. These are the facilitative measures which have been taken by SCCP to increase the incorporation rate and to help the applicants and to help the basically corporate sector. As I already discussed, there is business center has been established at SCCP, through which there is a centralized function of the name availability and the incorporation. We have a facilitation desk at business center. This facilitation desk the function of this facilitation desk is if anyone wants to incorporate a company and they don't know how to incorporate a company and how to file an application, they can come to the business center. We have a skilled resources here, and we have also a facilitation desk over here. Computers are placed over here. The people can come and use these laptops and computers to submit the incorporation application, and we are also available there to help them, to guide them how to incorporate a company. Then we have a Chinese desk over here, and there is also a resource at the business center who can speak a Chinese. They can help a Chinese if someone comes to incorporate a company and they don't know how to speak English. So we have a Chinese resource over here who can communicate with these Chinese. We have also a foreign investor desk. Then we have also introduced a WhatsApp application and chatbot for the quick response resolution of the queries. Like while incorporating the incorporation application, if somebody can't understand how to submit and what is the meaning of some specific information or some specific field, then and there they can connect with us through this WhatsApp and this chatbot. Then we have different guides available on our website in different languages like Urdu, English, Chinese, Turkish, Spanish, for the facilitation of the promoters. We have more than 100 model memorandums placed on our website. If someone wants to incorporate a company and they don't want to, they can take reference from these model memorandums. Then we have also a model memorandum and article of association in Chinese language on our website. We have also, there is also a video on our website which we will show you right now, describing how to incorporate a company basically for the ease of the public. So this is the video which we are going to show you how to incorporate a company. This video will explain the whole procedure of incorporation and how to submit application and what information is required for company incorporation. अपने सिस्टम का वो
Ji, Ms. Saila, I can hear you.
You can hear me, but can you see this incorporation video?
No, the video is stuck.
The video is stuck. Just hold on. I think we should skip the video. We will show you afterwards. And there is also a link available on our website. You can access this video from over there also.
Sure, Saila, you're echoing, so maybe if one of you can mute your mic, would be great for us to hear you properly.
Now can you hear?
Still echoing.
Still echoing. Now?
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
I think there is some technical problem. We will fix the issue and we can skip this incorporation video.
Yeah, maybe if you have this video on YouTube or some other
yes,
place,
we will provide you the link. This is available on our website.
Okay.
Next. Just check now if video is working.
Slides have stopped. We cannot see your screen.
I think we should proceed for the question answer session. If you people have any question and answers, we are here to answer those questions. Then we will share the video.
Great. Maybe I can look into the question answers and just read out a few of them. So Muhammad Asadullah has asked, PVT versus LLP, what are the pros and cons of both?
Well, basically these both are types of the companies. In LLP, there are less compliance requirements and post-incorporation compliances. In PVT's companies, there are some post-incorporation requirements and you have to comply with those requirements. There is an annual filing. But in case of limited liability partnership, there are no such type of post-incorporation compliances and there are less requirements. And this is the basic difference. And there is also a difference of the tax also. LLPs are not that much taxed as much as the companies are taxed. These are the basic differences: less compliance and easy to form and tax benefit.
Thank you, Ms. Saila. Another question we have is from Muhammad Yusuf. He says, how can I edit my error while forming a company? For example, we don't have any employed, but I submitted 6 in EOBI and SSI segment. I want to remove it, but finding no way. I think if you can answer the question.
Like while incorporating a company, the question is like, while if you can punch the wrong data in the application.
Yeah, so how can they edit if they've punched the wrong data in the application?
That can be edited from by deleting that data and you can punch the data, correct information. It's not difficult. These fields are editable. It's not like that once you punch the data, it's not editable.
After company is incorporated or
Yeah.
before incorporation?
Before incorporation or after incorporation?
So he has mentioned, I have submitted 6 in EOBI and SSI segment, 6 employees. So he's not able to remove that.
Hey, that they have to contact EOBI because this is the portal which is linked, which is integrated and linked with the EOBI. Once you have put the information for the EOBI in our incorporation form while submitting SSC data to the SSCP, that SSCP then can't rectify that data. You have to contact EOBI for that.
Great. So I think this is the same case with the address as well. So if somebody has registered with a different address, so they have to reach out to SSCP separately in order to be able to change it, right?
Change of address?
Change of address, because we have a question from Yasser and he has asked how to change address from one province to another.
From one province, well, he can change the address from one province to, they have to pass a special resolution and they have to make amendments in the memorandum clause of the registered office address clause of the memorandum, and they have to comply with those requirements, and then they can change their from one province to another. But they have to pass a special resolution and they have to file a petition for that to our company registration office.
The option
Online portal is also available for change of the registered office address of the company from one province to another.
Asif Khan has asked, does SCCP have public API for corporate service providers to use? Any plans to make in future?
Not yet public APIs, and I don't think so. We are right now we are working on this issue. So right now, no.
And also, can Azad Jammu Kashmir people get facilitated with the SCP services? Syed Kamran asked.
The people from anywhere around the world, they can apply for incorporation of the company. It's not restricted to one country or one city. People sitting anywhere in the world, they can apply online, and the company is incorporated online, and they will be issued digital certificate of incorporation. There is no restriction, location-wise restriction.
They have to provide local address.
But the companies which are incorporated, which they want to have a registered office in AJK, they are not considered as a local company. They are considered as foreign company. A person can, from AJK, they can incorporate a company, but they have to have a registered office registered address in Pakistan, because that is taken as a foreign company. If they want to incorporate a company in AJK, they have already company in AJK and they want to incorporate a company in Pakistan, that would be considered as a foreign company, but they can submit application from over there.
So Kamran has asked, any proposed planned initiatives for IT exports?
IT expert, like, can you please explain the question?
Kamran, he asked any plans or proposed initiatives for IT exports from the SCCP.
IT exports. Basically, we have different sectors for company incorporation. There is a memorandum of IT place, and you can export any products for the IT development. It's not restricted, basically. If you form a IT company, obviously you need something to export. You can export IT equipment or anything. You can make an import-export company for that. Unless and until there is not restriction from any government or from any other department, SCCP basically incorporate a company. They don't have anything with the business of the company, like internal functioning and working of that. Any company can do any lawful work. It's not restricted.
Okay.
But the role of IT, that is not the role of SCCP.
Okay. So Saila, I also wanted to ask, since you mentioned about the digitizing the true copies of, those true copies sometimes are not acceptable to banks. So is there anything that SSP is doing in order to make, tell the banks that wo true copies, digital true copies accept kare? Because most of the banks, at least majority of them, since jahan tak mujhe pata hai, so when you go to them, they'll be like, nahi, hame physical, hard copies de rahe.
Okay, SCCP has recently introduced this feature in March, basically. So we are continuously educating the banks, and now banks are accepting these digital certified copies. And I think last week there was another meeting with the State Bank and all these banks, and State Bank has specifically directed all these banks to accept these digital certified copies. I think there was a problem of the awareness. Otherwise, it's not like that they don't accept it. They do accept it, but those basically banks have different branches. Branches are also in the remote areas. So if they don't know about that, otherwise there is no, like, they are continuously giving this instruction and awareness, okay, do accept these digital certified copies. And the last week there was a comprehensive meeting with the State Bank and the banks, and now they have been given these instructions.
State Bank has instructed banks not to demand physical copies.
And recently State Bank has also instructed all these banks not to demand physical copies from the applicants and from these companies who want to open the company account.
Yes, so since we do startups registrations every other day, so hum bhi ye thoda sa face hua tha. I thought maybe I'll ask you, but that's great that they were not asked. So let's see. Baki, we have more questions from Muhammad Ismail Qureshi. He has asked at least 3 questions. So I'm gonna go with first. Describe the dependency of registration fee of the company and its value.
The company incorporation fees is very minimal. It depends upon the authorized capital, and the minimum fees is 1,700, 1,600 something, 1,618. This is the cost of registration of fee, incorporating a company, and which is very, very much minimal. And this fees is depend upon the authorized capital of the company. With 1 lakh capital, this 1,700 is the fees. As you increase the authorized capital, your fees for registration has also increased.
So Muhammad Yusuf asked, since we have initiated digital true copies, so kya hame physical certificates bhi mil sakte hai if they apply for it? Like hard copy certificates.
Physical certificate of incorporation discontinue कर
नहीं, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन की बात कर रहे हैं या बाकी डॉक्यूमेंट्स की बात कर रहे हैं?
Will we get physical certificate too or only digital? That's what he has asked, Muhammad Yusuf.
That certificate of incorporation will not be issued physically. That has been
discontinued, right? Also, Saila, I just wanted to ask, since hum jab company register karte, obviously we have all the company owners' information, the shareholders and everything, sabka data wahan pe already hota hai. So whenever we go to a bank and we try to open a bank account for the company, we have to go through the entire process all over again कि हमें वो सारी documentations दोबारा करनी पड़ती है कि ये shareholding है, ये documents है सारा. Is there anything that SCCP might be doing with the bank कि जब वो NTN ले ले वहाँ से SCCP से, so they can extract all this information without having to do the documentations all over again? Is there something initiative taken by SCCP or आप ये चीज़ consider कर रहे हैं just to make the paperwork a little bit easier?
देखिए, like opening of bank account और जो उसकी information है, that is the requirement of the bank basically. लेकिन बैंक अभी इस तरह का कोई पोर्टल हम लोग जो है ना कोई इंटीग्रेट हुआ है और ना वी आर प्लानिंग, क्योंकि ये तो बेसिकली रिक्वायरमेंट्स है स्टेट बैंक ऑफ पाकिस्तान की कि वो ओपनिंग ऑफ बैंक अकाउंट में क्या क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन जो है ना उसको चाहिए. हाँ, अगर बैंक इसको इनिशिएट करते हैं तो वी कैन लुक इनटू दिस थिंग, लेकिन राइट नाउ वी हैव जस्ट इंटीग्रेटेड आवर पोर्टल टू द एक्सटेंट कंपनी इन्फॉर्मेशन दे कैन एक्सेस द कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेशन इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम आवर पोर्टल.
Okay. Also, Ismail Qureshi asked, can you elaborate capital structure?
Okay, the capital structure जो होता है ना कंपनी का basically authorized capital होता है and paid up capital होता है. This is the authorized capital is the basically the capital up to which company can subscribe the shares, to up till which company can increase its share. Beyond that limit company can't go. Suppose वो 1 lakh अपना authorized capital रखती है और paid up capital at the time of incorporation is less than that. Suppose वो 10,000, 20,000, whatever amount they fix. So company can increase its paid up capital up to the amount of that authorized capital, not beyond that. तो ये authorized और paid up capital का difference होता है. This is the capital through which company wants to initiate its business and start its business. तो fees is calculated on the authorized capital, और जो paid up capital होता है basically that is the capital which actually subscribed by the shareholders in the form of the shares, and that money is deposited into the bank account after incorporating a company, and that is the paid up capital. Mean paid, that shares have been paid by the subscribers. That's why it's called a paid up capital. And authorized means companies are authorized to increase their capital up to that amount, that is the authorized capital. And for incorporating a company, you must to have an authorized and paid up capital both. And after this authorized and paid up capital is shown in the financials of the company, in the accounts of the company.
Right. Thank you, Saila. We have another question from Vamik. I wanted to incorporate an environmental consultancy company. Do we need to register my company from EPA?
What is EBA?
EPA. P.
EPA?
Yes, EPA.
What does this EPA mean?
I don't know. Maybe Vamik, if you're listening to us, maybe you can just write down what do you mean by EPA?
I'm going to submit application to SSCP.
You can send his query to us.
Right.
We will look into this thing. I don't know exactly what EPA and what he wants to
means
inquire.
exactly.
EPA is Environmental Protection Agency. It's linked with the Ministry of Climate Change, and it looks into the climate crisis policies.
That I don't have any idea about their policies, if there is some specific requirement of that ministry. So I don't know about. Basically, they can incorporate a company, and there are a number of companies which are incorporated, and then they have to comply with the requirements of those regulatory authorities. Then they have to go and apply there for their registration. But as far as SSCP, we will incorporate a company of environment, and we have a number of companies on our register which are for the consultants providing consultancy of environment. SSCP does not restrict this thing. Rest, if they have that ministry have some requirements to have that requirements, okay, they must have a company and to give consultancy for the environmental, that we don't know.
Jay Saila. Nasir Hamid asked, how is SSCP facilitating startups?
The startups like you can enter into the corporate sector by incorporating a company. I've already discussed, we have a lot of facilitative measures. If somebody can't understand how to incorporate a company, they can even visit our business center, and we have a number of material available on website. This incorporation video, we will give you the link of this shortly at the end of this session. You can see that video, and that describes the whole process of submitting an application to the SSCP. And like we can't differentiate between anyone. This portal, this SSCP registration of the company they all are at par with us. There is no special incentives to the startups basically. Rest, recently amendment has been made in Companies Act 2017 through Amendment Act 2022, where they have defined basically the startups. That is the different startups, and I think the question which you people are asking, because they are in the National Incubation Center, they are the startups who are just started their business as a startups, and they want to incorporate a company.
They have an idea and they want to register.
And if they want to register a company, requirements are same for them. If they need any specific assistance, they can come to us. We will facilitate them how to incorporate a company. If they want some information, materials available on website. Our phone numbers are also available on one website. They can access go through those lines if they have any specific problems. Rest, we don't have any, like we have incorporated the company for everyone at par.
Thank you, Saila. I think that's it about the questions. There's one more, I think, but I'm not sure what do you mean exactly. Ismail Qureshi asked, what will be the duration of the registration? Are we supposed to renew registration? So if you mean by the company registration duration, I think within 1 or 2 days, that's no issue.
Just correct me. There is no renewal of registration. Once company is incorporated, then there is no renewal. Unless you incorporate a company with specialized business, like Section 42 companies or non-banking financial companies, there you go for the renewal. Even in Section 42 companies, renewal has also been abolished. So company once incorporated, it has a perpetual succession, as I've already told. It does not need any re-registration and renewal.
And what about the nominee? Should it be from the company members, or it is supposed to be from the family? If the nominee is not having a technical, and then what should the person who's registered in the company, what should they do?
Basically, requirement of nominees in the single member company, because single member company has only one member. This nominee must be related to that member in the form, it must be his wife, brother, sister, basically blood relation.
Okay.
This is the definition of the nominee, and the role of the nominee is on the death of that single person in that company, he will transfer the shares of that person to its legal heirs. This is the role of basically nominee.
Okay. I think that answers your question, Ismail. So we have no other questions right now. I think that's it. We answered all the questions from the participants. We have 2 persons raising hands. Maybe can you please write your questions in the Q&A so that we can see, so we can answer your queries. Okay, so Yasser asked how to register a foundation.
Well, this is basically a foundation, mean the company which is not, the objective of which is not to earn the profit. Basically, these come under the Section 42 companies, the Section 42 licensed companies. So there are some requirements for incorporating a company which has licensed as a Section 42 company. Those requirements are given in association with Charitable and Not-for-Profit Regulations 2018. So and the promotion of these companies and the object of these companies is not to earn the profit. Basically, they are formed for the promotion of the religion, promotion of the art, culture, health, education, foundation, and basic objective is welfare. Basically, these are made not to earn the profit, and the subscriber of these companies, any money earned from these, that is reutilized into that companies, and that is not distributed to the shareholders of the company or the subscribers of the company. That money is used to promote the objects of the company. This is the main difference between the profitable and not-for-profit company. And these companies which are formed for the welfare purpose, these are called the foundations. And the basic difference is that one is for the for-profit and the other is for not-for-profit, and that they can't redistribute. They have to redistribute that money for the objects of the company, not to the subscriber of the company. That their profit is not shared to the subscribers. Basically, this is the main difference, and the requirements are available in association with Charitable and Not-for-Profit Objects Regulations 2018, and these regulations are available on our website. And the process of registering a regulation has also been simplified recently, wherein the renewal process of Section 42 companies has also been abolished. Basically, overall objective of the SECP is basically to bring ease for the applicants in every area of the companies, whether they are for profit or not for profit. And this process has been simplified a lot. Now SECP has simplified this process of Section 42 a lot. Previously, there were some requirements which were difficult to comply. So now this process has also been revamped of Section 42 license.
Great. Also, Saila Hasib Yunus asked that is there any chance that SECP will update their website? Because it's very complex to register a company online right now.
I don't think so. It's difficult. That's why let me give you a link. Go to those links and just look at our video. That video will describe you how to incorporate a company by step by step process, how to incorporate a company and where to go on the website and click which links to form a company. Parvez, let us try that video. So all the question and ambiguities of the applicants, they will be resolved. It's very comprehensive video, basically.
Perfect, Saila. You can share that video. Maybe a lot of people will get much clear. So we have another. I think maybe we'll take the very last question. So till now, Muhammad Aslam Bhatti asked, I incorporate a company in March, but still not received login password for filing of tax returns for the tax year 21. Also facing same issue for 3 to 4 other companies. So what should I do?
They have not obtained the NTN number.
No, they have not received login password for filing of tax returns for this year.
This issue is related to the FPR, not to the SCCP, basically. Their company has been incorporated, NTN has been issued. Now the problems of filing of the returns with that lies with the FPR, not with the SCCP. And if they have any specific query or they are not they can't explain it in the better way, they can send us an email on business.center@sccp.gov.pk. This is our email address for all the queries. And that link is also available on our website for sending the queries to SCCP, specifically related to company incorporation and name availability.
Perfect. I think we don't have any other questions so far. If we have any other question, I'll let you know. So since if you want to share the video, maybe we can try it one more time.
Okay, fine. Can you listen? Hello?
No, it's not properly audible. It's echoing again.
Can you open it from the link? We can provide to you the link.
Zunaira, can we do that?
We do send out feedback forms. So if you can send the link to me, we can share that with the participants. Or if you can share the link in the chat, they'll be able to click on it.
Okay, we are sending you the link in the chat.
Okay. So everybody, thank you for joining in today. Ms. Saida has been very kind to give a comprehensive rundown of today's topic. The video that she wanted to play during her presentation, she's going to share the link in the chat so you can check out that video live on the SCCP website.
Zunaira, kindly check the link. We have sent it in the chat.
I don't see anything in the chat. Farhosh, if you see it, please let me know because मेरे पास नहीं आ रहा.
I cannot see it.
Do you have a access on our website right now?
The link is here. Thank you so much, Rasti, for sending it. ये जो link है it's for all the participants to check out that video.
Sunaira, if you can open that link from your side.
I'm gonna check it out. हमें जो रास्ती ने chat में कर दिया है copy.
It's basically the link to e-services page, and under the tab of e-services, at the top there's a link to company incorporation video that will directly direct you to the video, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, मैंने link copy कर दिया है. Everybody should be able to access this. Farhosh, do we have any more questions? We are way over time. तो आपके पास अगर मज़ीद सवालात हैं तो let's do that and then we're good.
Zunaira, Aisha Hamid.
Farhosh, I lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
I can, Ji.
So Zunaira, I said maybe we have one more question from Aisha Hamid, consider the last one. So she asked that what are the things that we need for Form 45 for a recently incorporated IT company?
Like those companies which have recently incorporated, we have there is already a declaration in company incorporation application, that is INC incorporation form. You only have to, when you sign that incorporation application form, there is already a declaration of the beneficial ownership. For those companies, there is no requirement of filing Form 45.
Companies which are incorporated after 30th June.
The companies which are incorporated after 30th June 2021, they don't need to have filed the Form 45 because there is already a declaration in incorporation form regarding the details of the beneficial ownership, that they have already declared this thing, that they have already taken the information of their beneficial owners.
I think that's it. That's it about the questions. Maybe there is one more. How can we merge two private limited companies? Is this doable? Muhammad Aslam asked.
Merger is not, there is no merger of private companies. One company can become a subsidiary and the holding company, other company can become a holding company, or they can share the transfer the shares. There is no option of merger of two private companies basically. There is a concept of holding and subsidiary company in the law basically. One become the holding company of the other company. When they subscribe like 51% share of the other company, the company which subscribe the shares, that become the holding company, and the companies whose shares are being subscribed, that becomes the subsidiary company.
Great. I think that's about it. We have answered all the questions, and thank you so much, Saila and Rasti, Pervez, Iqbal, for the amazing session. And thank you for all the participants staying with us till now. Over to you, Zunaira.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much to our speakers, Farhosh, for moderating the sessions. We'll see you guys soon next month with another session with the SCCP Innovation Office. So take care until then. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.